went to this uncle's head because he 变态 Hey, it's noisier than I thought. So I expect this to be quite the busy weekend and a busy week ahead. I finally feel somewhat ready to launch my website alongside my business. There's some loose ends to tie, especially with the website, but lately I've been speaking to people, consultants, people who have started their own businesses, and I'm reminded of how designing a website is not the work. The work is the work, which is talking to people, getting your services across. The website is just a reference point for people to reach you. So while the kids are out, I am going to take that quiet time to get some work done. But first, after all, it's a Saturday, so I'm going to treat myself to some bubble tea. Another thing I have to say is I swapped from an Apple Watch to a non-Apple Watch, a Xiaomi Band 10, and it has helped me so much with focus too. At first I thought the lack of integration and means I'll get less notifications, which means I will miss more important messages. And the opposite turns out to be true. I get to focus a lot more and I get to reply people. I found this to also be a way to hold my own boundaries. People here are very used to instant replies, and I use this as a way to be like, look, no, I protect my time and I'll get back to you, of course, as soon as I can, but that doesn't mean within like 5 minutes because I have my life too. Anyway, enough of all of that. Join me on this bubble tea run. Okay, I got my bubble tea, my notebook, and also changed out to a more comfortable fit. Something about jean shorts is too constricting. I think COVID has spoiled me. The moment I come back home, I would change because I can't stand anything that's too tight. But anyway, looking at my planner and updating stuff. So I've set this week to mainly focus on my website. I was a little ambitious in terms of launching it, and I knew I was ambitious. I've set it for yesterday to have everything set up and launching. But of course that did not happen, which is fine. I have these 2 days to work on it. Taking a look right now. Yeah, I see you. Look at her. YouTube. Yeah. Yes. This is Mary, our family helper of 10 years. Special feature. Can or not? No lah. Just to share. If earn money also good. But just to share. No. This one not live one. Later I edit. Then I put. Yeah. Cannot do live here lah. Do live here got sir, got man, baby screaming. Yeah. Okay, that was a fun and short intermission. I was just saying, looking at the progress I've made with my website. Let's see. My home is more or less done. That's probably the one that I am the most concerned about a little bit, because that's the landing page, right, where everyone would get their first impressions of me. I had an idea to do like a Instagram reel YouTube shot of like my 5 to 9 versus my 9 to 5, which would have played really well in a section on my about page about who am I beyond my work. Something I can do really quickly. That's fine.
She did not, in fact, do it. It was harder than she thought.
One thing I've learned across this journey though is this idea of beginning ugly or starting ugly. I think it was a Rachel Rogers newsletter recently that I came across. I was designing my website and I subscribed to a few powerful black women who said part of their mission to elevate other women. Rachel Rogers is one of them. She wrote the book of We Should All Be Millionaires. Recently, one of her newsletters was about starting ugly. And I felt like that was a message for me at this stage, that of course I can continue perfecting my web pages. A web page is just that, a web page, a reference point for people. The work is still in talking to people, connecting with them, finding out how I can help them. So today, and hopefully just today, but today and tomorrow's objective is to get things to a place where it's good enough that I can launch, and then set up a LinkedIn announcement about it, and then go from there. This is also an exercise in priority and being real with what I can do in a day and my energy level. Enough blabbering, let's get the deep work done. Also, if you hear any of my family in the background, my apologies. That's just the way it works in a 10-person household. Okay, it is now about 6:30. I am starting to put my pages live. Oh my god. It's quite crazy to think about. There's still more things to be done, but at least with my website, I can confidently submit my application to TED and go from there. I cannot believe it. It feels like such a sense of accomplishment. Hello, hello. It's Sunday. I've been working for about 2 hours now. I was gonna finish off my first half of August vlog. I ended up doing June as well. My July is done. I'm happy that I'm getting better at video editing. I also noticed that I'm falling into a structure, which I guess is good given that I'm learning how to vlog. I'm also making a note to make sure that I don't fall into a routine and just try different things out. I also have a LinkedIn post to write for the launch of my business. It's funny because I was gonna record my screen for Instagram, my phone screen, and then I realized that the mobile view of the website is very messed up compared to the website, which I guess, of course. So then I had to take extra time to make sure that the website on mobile looks somewhat decent and understandable. I'm glad this week is gonna be a little more spacious, a little more breathable, because I was just reviewing my June and July thoughts for being back home in Singapore, and as my commitments free up, plus I fall into a bit more of a stable routine that I feel more regulated and I feel better. Like some of the major changes I've made is going to work more days a week and working with the kids' schedule. If they're gonna be home, either I work outside at a cafe, do something else other than work, or go into the office. I had to pause my recording because my grandmother came in and I was too awkward to record around her. On my rest days, I like to hang around her room because it increases my interactions with her. In this one, she showed me her cheap $1 underwear and she gave me a t-shirt of hers. It's a really bittersweet thing to have experienced. Knowing that her habit came out of her being in the war where things were rationed, she didn't know when she can get new clothes if she can afford them. These are the times when I especially appreciate being able to spend time with her while getting work done. I have some time, so instead of taking away lunch, I'm gonna have it here. And I have some random thoughts, especially about public transport and people taking public transport. So I take the same bus, the same route every day to work. Today I contemplated taking the train instead because it was raining heavily outside, and if I take a feeder bus to the train station, I'm less likely to get wet. But the rain got lighter, and I prefer bus because then I get to see scenery versus just like underground. And those rides tend to be quite uneventful. I would meditate on the bus ride, I would listen to audiobooks, look out the window. It's my quiet time with myself. By the way, so yummy. Salted fried chicken with fried egg and rice. Going back to my story. So because I want to close my eyes and meditate, I tend to take seats at the upper deck all the way to the back. And I was seated across the aisle from this uncle. It seems nice. And then the gross thing happened. He started to spit on the floor. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, at first he just dug his nose. Like, do this and then like do on the floor. And that's, okay, acceptable, whatever. Then he started doing the thing when you have a lot of phlegm. And again, it's inside your mouth. You do what you want. But then he started spitting onto the floor of the seat beside him because it was empty. Like, what the fuck? I did it once. Then I was like, whatever. And then he started doing it again and again and again. I stared at him for a while before he turned to me. And then he realized someone was staring at him. And then he stopped. And I've been a commuter all my life. So I haven't let people be. But there's this rage that came up inside me because where is your public consciousness or your consideration for the public? You're taking public transport. Anyway, if it's not, like, would you spit on the floor of your own house? No, right? Like, we all have to take ownership of the part we play in keeping public spaces clean. And I don't know. I don't know what went through this uncle's head. I thought of giving him tissue, but I didn't want to incite any aggressive responses. You just never know what kind of uncle or auntie you're running into. Some people are very nice, some people know shame, and some people just don't have shame. So, okay, more thoughts came to me as I'm eating. I'm just a processor that way. So I've been to different countries where they're on the spectrum of collectivism versus individualism. And I find that one of the reasons why public initiatives often fail in countries that are more individualistic, probably one of the most extreme individualistic country being the States, is that people think about themselves. They're like, I want to get the most out of this initiative or this program, this policy for myself. That's why you hear a lot of, why should my taxes go to public education? Why should my taxes go to helping you and providing you with a universal basic income, for example? Why should my taxes go to feeding your children? Well, there's less of that sentiment in Singapore. I said less because I don't think there's never that sentiment. There's always people who think that way, regardless of collectivism or the culture or things like that. But generally, the Singapore I grew up with, I don't know, you just don't really see these things happening. Even before the times of social media, you don't see people spitting on the upper deck of a bus and like not get called out for it. We had a strong Singaporean spirit. In the recent years, we had an influx of foreigners. And this might be a hot take, especially coming from someone who's doing the work that I do, but I think there should be more effort put into what the local culture is, how someone should behave, not just through punitive laws, but through a collective social norm, and stand firm on that. Like, Everyone's welcome, truly. Until you start messing around with our public infrastructure, our culture, and not respect the efforts that our forefathers, foremothers have built. I do see it as a disrespect, especially in the context of public transport. So many countries tried to implement public transport, universal free education until tertiary level. But none has been as successful as Singapore, and I think it's because of how we've built ourselves up. And to see it not be honored in this way, like pisses me off. I don't know if the uncle is local or not. Who knows? But yeah, just general lunch reflections. So far, not a bad start to my Monday. A weird start, but not a bad start. Let me focus on my lunch, and then I'll have to get into the office. It's a bunch of meetings today. 谢谢你。
For this event?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I guess I have to register somewhere.
Why must be up to?
Because there's three,
So clever.
It's all good.
Looking at so many emerging issues.
Hi everyone, it's a new day. Going to catch up with the friend Meida, whom I met over LinkedIn when we were both in the States. Then she came home, I think a year earlier than me. It's been a while and I'm excited to catch up with her. I'm not sure if I can get used to the humidity in Singapore. I definitely feel like it's been getting hotter and more humid over the years. It's a common consensus that when we were younger, when we were going to school at like 7 a.m., that there will be like morning dew on the plants. But now it seems like morning is hot. With the sun, it's hot. Without the sun, it's also hot. Maybe that's why people here don't rebuild climate change, because we already feel it, it's happening to us. But anyway, come join me to catch up with my friend.
You had this for a while? The equipment?
I bought it in the States before the tariffs.
Put my bag in.
Also because of the husband. Today's hump day. I spent most of the day on the bed because I just cannot. I had a full Monday and Tuesday and needed both over 9 hours of sleep, pay off the sleep debt, and also function today. Plus, also just a little bit of a break for myself. It was really hard, frankly, to get myself off the bed and get things done that's outside the computer, but I did it, so yay! I showered, which was very refreshing, and then went to get some packages. In Singapore, it's been pretty fascinating. So I primarily use this app called Shopee. There's also Lazada. They're both Singapore's version of Amazon, AliExpress, Taobao. In some ways, I think Taobao users might fight me on that. But they basically sell everything and anything. Whatever you want, they're on there. It took me a while to learn the user interface when I first came and used it. But the interesting thing is you can either opt for delivery to your doorstep, which sometimes is free, or you can select a collection point near you, which is always free. And these collection points can be anything from someone's apartment to a convenience store. And I find that so amazing. And also a little scary. Like, this is online buying taken to a whole new level. But anyways, yeah, I bought some things. I'm gonna unpack them, dry my hair. I have a online workshop to be the back end producer of for my day job at about 6:30. One of these packages is a bottle that I'm so excited about. I'm gonna decorate it, so bring you along. Oh my god, this is so cute too. Diving deeper into this whole thing about the pink and my preference for specific things, part of my healing journey and having gone to therapy is diving deeper into my relationship with the things around me. Perhaps more than ever, I felt this desire to make sure that my choices and my direction in life is decided by my own inner desires and not conflated with what people expect of me, what my loved ones wish I take on. And frankly, that's been hard. After so many years of being around people who only want good for you, but somehow you feel like you have to have this unconditional gratitude by ways of doing what they tell you to do, it's very hard to distinguish that from what you want. I can still remember a few years ago, my voice inside is so soft and mixed up with everything else that I don't know. I couldn't trust that what I'm hearing in my head is what I actually want. And even till today, I have difficulty expressing my needs and what I want. I'm sharing this because I feel like a lot of us experience some form of that as well. Of like, is it okay to have our own wants and needs? How do we get our own wants and needs? And to that I say, it's okay. Take your time in exploring what it is that drives you, that makes you happy, that puts a smile on your face. And do that. You don't have to see the whole path to be able to walk it. What I'm doing now as well, just doing things one thing at a time within my means. And I strongly believe we are meant to be right where we are, even if it's the worst time of our lives, because every moment is meant to teach us something. Anyway, that's my little rant. Continuing on to decorating my bottle.
Keep comparing, right?
What if we did that for our panel? What conversations would we have?
So we realized that, we how do we decouple?
I'll leave my reflections from this Saturday festival in my next vlog, as this one is already long enough. But thank you so much for staying through this chatty vlog. I hope some of my sharings has resonated with some of you, and I'll see y'all in the next vlog. Bye.